So we had no segment yesterday on the Transformer Slag podcast. We were super busy doing the final touches on the newest episode of the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer. Go check that one out. That's on the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer channel. We had a special guest, Steve Bono, who worked on Transformer stuff in the past and Star Wars Black Series, big Hasbro guy also. And while it is a Beyblade segment, I heavily suggest Transformer fans listen to it because it really talks about also the relationship between Takara Tomy and Hasbro and creating that co-development in the early 2000s in that Armada, Energon, Cybertron era. Beyblade had a lot to do with it. There was a lot of Pokemon talk in there. It's a really good listen. It's not just about spinning tops. It's also about the robots in disguise and understanding how all of that got brought over and localized, the bringing of Beyblade to America, as I like to call that segment, but also all of these other Takara Tomy brands. Go check that one out. Again, the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer. Really good segment. And we got some news to talk about here today. So Transformers Rise of the Beast is going to be hitting streaming services as of today. It's going to be available on Paramount Plus. And this now opens up the discussion of, are we now calling it for if Rise of the Beast is successful financially in theaters and stuff? So there's a yes and no going on here because while it is physically not available in physical media, that'll be in October. That's when it's going to start showing up in Walmart and Target and everything, and your steel books that'll be coming from Amazon. It's still only available on streaming services in Canada and in the USA through Paramount Plus. There is stuff going on. Peru is going to be getting a special edition release in theaters that will be happening July 27th. It's going to be pretty much the movie with a lot of the DVD extras, but it's going to probably lead to a small bump in some viewership and some numbers for the final numbers. And of course, Japan, as of today, is also going to be having their preview screenings of the movie. My buddy Sakamoto, who works with all the Japanese manga stuff with Transformers and Transformers Legends, he went to see it today. He liked it. He said it was a pretty packed theater for the early screenings. The official date for Japan is going to be August 4th, next month. So, maybe a week after that August 4th date, then we're going to be able to take a look and figure out, has this been successful? Has this been good? As it stands right now, Rise of the Beast, a budget, 195 million, 200 million budget, more, let's say 200 million budget. And then the box office thus far worldwide has been 427 million. Yeah, when you think about like marketing and advertising, they broke even, but there's a little extra that they made at least, and it's not the greatest, especially with these big budget movies. So there might be a little extra that might be made here from Japan, from Peru, but probably not enough to really like make it a huge, huge difference. And I mean, it's not been looking good because, when you look at it like the Bumblebee movie, right? Japan brought in 8 million. The last night, Japan brought in 15 million. So it didn't really move it that much. And it's something where this one here, will Japan be receptive? Well, there was a big Japanese push with merchandising and stuff and actors. So will it also be maybe similar to like what, say, The Last Night brought in with that $15 million mark? We will see. China was, outside of Japan, China was the leader for Transformers in Asia when it come to movies and stuff like that and ticket numbers. But China recently, we've seen that when certain characters and main characters have a certain skin color, and especially when it's the leads, China doesn't seem to be very receptive of it. And that's been a common problem in China. Just look at all the movie posters they have to change to trick people in the theaters. And we saw it right away with something like Rise of the Beast. Bumblebee movie made $170 million in China. The Last Night made $230 million. Rise of the Beast made $90 million. That's it. It did not do well in China as they had hoped. And that's China's problem. That's a problem that they have to get over, unfortunately. But it's something where Rise of the Beast is having a really difficult uphill battle right now in order to like really seem like a super successful movie. Did it make money? Well, at the end of the day, it probably will, but not a lot. And that's something where next year with the Transformers 1 animated movie, I think people are going to be really reassessing the situation and how they're going to be tackling the brand for the movies, which is a shame because I like Rise of the Beast. I like the movie, but clearly, after do 7 of a movie, you have to really win your audience back. And I think that maybe we're still on that recovery journey when it comes to Transformers. That's just my 2 cents on that. Another thing I want to cover, we just found out that apparently at San Diego Comic-Con, there was an exclusive pop vinyl. Yay for people who actually care about that, not me. There were at the pop vinyl booth, there was a special metallic finish G1 Megatron cosplay of Freddy Funko that was part of the Camp Fun Days 2003 box of fun. I don't know. Anyways, just for you Funko collectors, just letting you know, there's 500 of these out there. It's Freddy Funko cosplaying as Megatron. Heaven help you. That's all I'm going to say. That's out there. And the last thing I want to cover, and this is a really cool one. I talked about it a few weeks ago. If you're a big Kaiju fan, if you're a big guy into sofubi and Kaiju kind of stuff and that handmade kind of everything, we talked about it, I want to say a few weeks ago. Wonder Festival is this weekend in Japan, Sunday, July 30th. And there's a whole bunch of one-day license stuff that's going to be happening with Transformers. And Neo Player One is going to be present there. They're a big guy in the Kaiju community and the Godzilla monster community and making customs and stuff like that. And they have a one-day license from Takara Tomy to do a special non-transformable 3 points of articulation Kaiju Sufobi Beast Mode Optimal Optimus, aka Powered Convoy, as he was called in the Japanese version of Beast Wars. And hey, looks really good. Now we got the final images of it. I got to figure out a way how to get this. I have no idea how I'm going to get it, but really cool. So we got our first look of that. So that's going to be available at Wonder Festival this weekend, Sunday, July 30th in Japan. Really awesome stuff. And that's it more or less we're going to cover here today. Kind of a quiet news week. But again, yesterday I was also super busy with the Toy Armada segment. So be sure to check that out. Really good segment that we worked on. Great visuals. First time we've had a guest on the show. So it's me, Aaron Archer, Steve Bono. Steve Bono worked on alternators. He worked on Star Wars Black Series. Huge plethora of a portfolio with that guy. And he also has his own stories and fun adventures. And we're going to start with Beyblade. Let it rip, or go shoot if you're Japanese. So check that out, guys, and we'll talk again here on the Transformer Slag podcast in the near future. And thank you for listening.
We couldn't use the word terror for a minute.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's I forgot all about that. Yeah, one of the marketing people said, well, we can't use terror because we are currently on a war on terror.
For people that aren't making the connection, it's 2001. We're fresh off of 9/11.
Yeah.
Because I said, what's wrong with that? Like, we have,
So the arbitrary decision.
It affected Transformers too. It affected a lot of brands.
Yep.
There's an episode of Transformers they don't air anymore because
two towers got knocked over. No joke, literally.
Yeah. And then so the word terror for a couple of years got expunged from the Hasbro lexicon. Right. Although, a couple years later, and I remember Bono coming up to me and being like, what the hell? But, I did the Terracons.
Yeah.
And he's like, what's going on? But like, this is a perfect example of kind of how politics works. He had different people reviewing his packaging than I had. And those people had an opinion about words, and my people had a different opinion about words.